We're going to be streaming in a second. All right, we should be live in 1 second. All right. We good? Hey everyone, it's your boy Doc Williams, and tonight we're going to be talking about all things Glide. Glide just came out with the 2.0. Today, I'm going to be showing you from scratch how to get started, how to create an account, all the way to creating an app. So we're going to do this. This is one of our old school late night streams, so come with me. We're back, y'all. We're back. We haven't done a late night stream in a minute. It's awesome to see everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Everyone in the chat. Thank you so much. Let me know where you're watching this from, all this stuff. Tonight, we're going to be talking about all things Glide, actually. Glide just came out with a new update, the 2.0. So we're going to be building out apps all night. All right, so we're actually going to be starting from scratch. Let me zoom in. Oh, that didn't look good. We're going to be using Glide apps, and we're going to be talking about from the beginning part, how to get started, all of those things. If you haven't heard about Glide, we're going to be talking about what that is, and we're going to start from scratch. So a lot of people in the chat have been asking, they want to build their own app. They want to see it from scratch. So this is what we're going to be doing all night. I don't know how long this is going to take. We're going to start from the beginning. We're going to talk about what Glide 2.0 is, all of those things. And again, in the chat, let me know what you're working on tonight. It is, what day is it? Is it Thursday? Okay, so we're going to be doing that and all kinds of good stuff. So again, we haven't done a late night stream in a minute. So again, thanks so much. Oh, look at this. Hopefully Mark. Yeah, thank you so much. People coming in. Oh, man. So some people are watching it on Twitch. Oh, man. Larry. Thank you so much. So, again, we're going to be looking at all things Glide and kind of talking about the 2.0 and going from there. So what is Glide 2.0? So it allows you to do a couple more things with their new layout. It's a new builder. I've been using the builder for a couple months, but it looks like they're doing the official launch of it. We'll be talking about the different actions that they have. We're going to be looking at their layouts, especially when you're going to be using it for the iPad and everything like that. And if you're looking at what it can do, there's a few things. It can do barcode scanning, webhooks, improve maps on tablet. You can be uploading, doing sound effects. There's a lot of different components that you can be using with Glide. So we're going to be talking about how to get started, doing all those things. And then also, too, if people are watching this and they're wondering, well, Doc, how are you making all of these clips all at the same time when you're live streaming? That's because of our friends at repurpose.io. If you look at this, I'm actually going to be using I'll be using a timer and looking at the time as I'm doing this, as we're streaming, and then I'm just making markers on the time. And that allows us to move a lot quicker and actually build out our clips as we're going live. So just keep that in mind. This is really showing you how you can be effective and multitask and build out whatever you want with your brand as well. So keep that in mind. We're going to be showing this, and you're going to be seeing this in pieces. But repurpose.io, we use this. It's almost like Zapier for content creation. But this is the platform how I was able to start creating 42 pieces of content a week just by using repurpose.io. So creating a podcast series, doing YouTube clips every single day, Twitter posts, LinkedIn, Instagram, all of those things, all because of repurpose.io. So you're actually seeing this in the background as well. We're going to be using this as we stream, as we do all those things too. If you have any questions, let me know. We're going to go step by step. And also, too, I'm building out a guide as I'm going through Glide app. So I'm going to be talking about the onboarding sequence, setting up your Glide account. I'm going to be doing all of this live and then actually building out the Notion docs of how to do this too. So If you have questions on Glide or you've been thinking about it, today's the day. We're going to be building this thing out from scratch. I'm going to be doing step by step. In the comment section, let me know what's going on. Again, we're going to be knocking this out, seeing what happens, and kind of going from there. So I'm going to get started. Let's see. Sako's in the house. First of all, everybody, hold on a second. Sako's here? Yeah. Thank you so much, man. Thanks for stopping by. If anyone's hasn't seen it, Sako's coming out with some really crazy stuff with Restep. He's awesome. And check out what he's going to be doing live. So, and if you're not following him on Twitter, go follow Sako. So go check him out and all that kind of stuff. And we'll make sure we do it. Erica's in the house. So many people. Thank you so much. I'm pulling up Sako's stuff right here. So make sure you go follow Sako. He's doing some crazy, crazy stuff. And we're going to be talking about Restep coming up. So Restep.io. Yeah, it's going to be a game changer. He's definitely in top 3 of the craziest no-code tools that will be coming out later this year. So keep that in mind. Oh, straight from Egypt. Look, Zaid oh my goodness, we got all kinds of people coming into the chat today. Thank you so much. Yeah, go to Restep.io to check out what Sako is doing. Zaid, I think I'm saying it. Zayed. I'm sorry if I did not pronounce it right, but thank you so much for being here. By the way, Mark, one of the OGs that have, oh my goodness, stayed with us from one of the very first streams. Thank you so much for being here as well. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, we got all kinds of people in tonight. Yeah. No problem. And the link is in the chat for Restep.io to fill it out. So when the beta comes out, make sure that you get access to all that. Okay. So yeah, man, Sako, we'll talk soon, and we're gonna be on one of those platforms as well. Yeah, Zayed. Now I'm overthinking it. We just got approved by the Chrome store. Sako's doing crazy stuff. Hojo's taking look, man. Hojo's here. My goodness, all kinds of people out here tonight. Goodness. My goodness, a lot of love out here. Thank you so much for everyone coming out. We don't usually do this time, but thank you so much for being here. And Mark on the other side of the world, thank you so much for being here. I think it's what? Middle of the day? Is it 12 hours? It's like 11 o'clock in the morning? Yeah. Really good stuff. I think it might be 11 a.m. where you are. Yeah, man. Sako, we got to have these intros out here. Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Sako. Have a wonderful day. Good stuff. Okay, so it's noon. Mark, it's noon over there. Okay, it's about 12:30. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here. Ask me any questions. So, again, we're going to be talking about Glide, but if you have any other questions as we go through this, we're going to just be rolling through this. So, again, the reason we're talking about this is Glide, it just came out with the 2.0. So we're going to be talking about, if you're trying to use this, if you've ever had questions, this is the time I'm going to be showing you from scratch how to start using this and kind of go from there. So first of all, let's talk about Glide 2.0. So it just got premiered on Product Hunt, or launched it. What I really like about it is the improvements of how you're going to be able to use the platform. And a lot of the MVPs, or the minimal viable products people are trying to create, you could do it with Glide. I think you could do 95 to 98% of all of the things on Glide or softer, hands down. Okay, now you can do other things, use Bubble and all these other ones, but for the most part, people haven't even validated their ideas, especially for the app components. I would just use Glide app. So we're going to be talking about how to use this. What happened to the marketplace on AppSumo? What happened to it? Is it just down for the day or something? Let me check. I haven't seen it. Is it what happened to it? Something happened to the marketplace. See, now you get me paranoid. Is it just look different? Or is it in a totally different place? Lead generation. Is it just not on AppSumo anymore? Or is it just one giant section and it's not called Marketplace anymore? Let me know. Freebies, news and noteworthy. It kind of looks like it's all on AppSumo. You're saying with the tabs, it's gone. So they have AppSumo Originals. AppSumo, is my stuff still on here? Okay, live streaming. Maybe did they rename it? Now you got me paranoid. AppSumo Select. Where am I? It seems to be integrated on one long listing of stuff. Yeah. So from what I can tell, yeah, because AppSumo Select is now going to, yeah, so it's integrated, it looks like. Yeah, because they just have so much inventory, it looks like now. So if you're looking at AppSumo Select, most likely they're using AppSumo Select is the ones that is the white glove approach, the ones that they're going to be featuring. The ones that, if you notice, don't have AppSumo Select, I think that used to be the marketplace. Maybe they're not using that word anymore. And then they're having, now they call them AppSumo, Originals, the ones that are theirs. Yeah, so probably the ones that aren't Select. Squirtles versus Charmander. Thank you so much for being here. I love the name, by the way. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so that's what it looks like what happened, Erica. That's a good find, but yeah, it looks like they're just doing that. No worries, no worries. Let me make my screen a little bit smaller. Yeah, good find. Yeah, so it should be fine. And it makes sense. They're just getting so many deals now. And we'll talk about that, but it makes sense how they're doing it. So select is probably the new word. Yeah. Good find. Good find. Yeah, and then what's new? Yeah. Ending soon. And then plus exclusives. Okay. Yeah, that's all they're doing. Okay. Good question. Good question. Thank you for finding that. Didn't know that. All right. So let's get started. Let's talk about it. So we're going to start from the beginning of how to get started with Glide. We're going to be testing it out, seeing what we think about the features, and kind of going from there. Okay, let me move this. Also, too, for this section, I'm going to be doing some notes. If you've heard of Apps Without Code, we're going to be using some of the slides there. I teach there for some of their cohorts as well. So we're going to be talking about that. But again, this is free. We're going to be doing this together and making sure that you can come away with, start building some apps today and feel comfortable doing this. So I'm moving some things around, and then we're going to get right into this. Okay. Restep is over here. Okay, let's go. All right. And bam. All right. So we're going to get into how you get started with Glide apps, and we're going to start at the very beginning. We're going to start at the very beginning, making sure that you're prepared to get started with Glide. So what do you need to get started? Number one, you need a Gmail account and you need a Glide account. How are you going to get a Gmail account? So if you just go and Google just Gmail account, all you have to do is go to this first link. So what is the URL? What are we looking at, the URL? You can go to mail.gmail.com/mail, and you'll automatically get logged in, or you'll get into the screen into creating an account. If you need this, you go to accounts.google.com/signup, and then you're taken to this kind of screen right here to get started, and you can make an account and get logged in. Okay? So remember, when you're using a Glide account, you cannot, I repeat, you cannot use a Hotmail account, Yahoo account, anything. You have to have a Gmail account, because when you start using it, it's going to ask you to have approval to your G Drive, and so it can start making changes to Google Sheets and all of those things. That's why you need to have it. Yeah. All right, so once you do that, you're going to have a Gmail account. Then you're going to sign up over here. It's probably automatically going to sign me in because I have too many Glide accounts. But if it takes you to a screen, all you do is use the sign up, and it will say what account do you want to use. It will then log you in, and then you will be taken to this screen. And you can start with Glide for free. Okay, and you'll get this, and you can decide to use Pro apps, but again, you don't have to. You can totally start Glide with free. So we'll start with that. Okay. So before we get into it, that's what you need to do. You need to first have a Gmail account, Glide account, and then we're going to get started. Yeah, do this along with me right now. Got the email confirmation. Okay, good. This is great. Mark's saying, does Glide allow you to build an on iOS devices, or do you need to be on a desktop? That's a really good question. I would probably do it on a laptop or a desktop. I would just use it on a laptop or a desktop. Yeah, I think you can use limited features. You can log in and do it. Definitely from your iPad. If you try to do it from your iPhone, I've seen some people do it, but I think some of the features, especially when you're going through these things, you have a little bit of trouble. So I would just use a laptop or desktop. Yeah. Squirrels versus Charmander saying, got the email confirmation, working on this right now. That's awesome. Taking action. That's what I love seeing. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, cool. So once you get logged in, there's a couple different things you can do. You can go into your classic templates, and if you use the classic templates, you can actually just use them for free. I would say just start with that so you can just log in and start seeing the app. In a little bit, we're going to go into Glide and look at their templates and just copy over a free one to get started. You know what? We might just do that right now. Okay, so how do I get over here? I can go to glides.com. I can go to templates right here. I can say all templates. Once I'm taken to all templates, here I'm given like the free ones that I can get started. Now, some are for that you get charged for some, but it will tell you the price. So we're going to go with a free one. Let's go with, it says podcast by Glide. Okay, so right here, this is interesting. So it allows you to get your podcast to your fans and gain listeners with this intuitive app. Okay, so when I'm right here, I can go preview the template. Oh, can we do a meal plan? Absolutely. Let's do a meal plan. We're going to go back. Let's take a look at a meal plan. Okay, let's do this. Definitely. Let's do meal plan. Okay, we got a meal plan right here. Meal plan by Glide. I'm going to take it. Okay. So right here, this allows create gorgeous meal planning app with recipes and delicious photos. I can preview this. All right. Let's take a look at this. So it's previewing all of this stuff. Okay, so I can see this right here. I can search. Blah, blah, blah. Breakfast. Oh, this looks beautiful. Okay, by category. Okay, let's go back to by meals. Let's go back. Weekly plan. You can search it by weekly plan. Oh, you're a nutritionist. Oh, of course, this is perfect. No problem. No, glad to help. Okay, so we have that, and we have the basics right here. Okay, so now what are we going to do? Now that we see the basic plan that we have, and of course, there are tons of other meal plan templates you can look for in Glide, but we'll start with this one. It says copy for free. Okay, so we can copy this. Remember, I've already logged into my account, so I'm already right here, which is great. I'm just gonna open it up and start. So I'm gonna say copy app for free. I'm gonna click that button. I'm gonna click it. A couple seconds go by. I'm waiting in life, but it's copying all of this information into my account. Now it's saying owner right here, saying Glide offers no warranty or support for templates. That's totally fine. They say, where do you want it? Owner. I'm going to say Doc Williams. That's my account. I'm going to say copy it. Waiting for a second. And it's copying it into my account. And voila, look at this. I'm already in my account. It's already made all of the, it's copied all of that information over right there. Look at that. And in less than, how many minutes was it? Yeah, in less than 6 minutes, we have the basics, an app already set up, and we can start working with it. Glide is awesome. Okay, so when you're in Glide, there are 3 main components that you're going to be looking at. All right, so you can first view what the app is going to look like right here at the top, the middle section, where it's allowing me to view what it would look like on a mobile device or also a tablet. And you see how it changes. So it's already optimizing based on my viewpoint. So I'm going to change it back to the view on the phone. I'm going to have that. And now I can start either changing things or start manipulating the data if I just click on things on the front. But we're not gonna move too fast yet. So we just have this viewed, but now let's go to the right-hand side where it's that little cog or something like this. And this allows us to now see the different settings section and what we can do with the app. On the right-hand side, we can go to appearance, app info, tablet and desktop, what it does, all of these things, privacy, how we share it, user agreements. It does all of this stuff for us, right? All this stuff is already built out. So let's talk about a few things. Number one, if I click appearance, now I can make some changes on what the theme looks like. So if I change this, the theme changes. I change it again, it changes again. So now I can do light mode or dark mode. And also it says match device's theme. The app's theme will automatically change based on the device's current appearance setting. That's awesome. So if they're in light mode or dark mode, you can already have it changed out, right? Which is crazy. Then we can go into typography, the basics of what we kind of want it right over here. The tabs, that's great. We go into app info. We can change the app icon by clicking here. We can just make it an emoji. Let's make an emoji food or something like that. Food. I love tacos. I'm going to switch it over to tacos real quick. We can change the name of the app. Let's see, docs, meal plan. That's great. So we have that done. We have all of that. All right, so we have those basic features in the settings section, and we can go all the way down each thing step by step. So we can privacy, we can talk about the public sign in. Do we need it public or public with email? Private sign in, only I can sign in, limited access by password. You can decide on all of those different features as you go down the section for that on the privacy. Sharing, okay, what are we going to do? Now it says unlock with Pro, share screen, okay, hide about screen. Only, okay, so app copy. Allow anyone with the link to copy the app and share. Okay, so, and share the sheet. Okay, so I can enable that kind of stuff. Sign in screen. Okay, so here, if we want, I can, let's see, greetings. Let's change this. Yeah, so it changes right there based on the sign in. And also, too, if they sign in with Gmail, you can have them, they can sign in with Gmail. So it automatically allows you to have, your users to make it easier for them to sign in and stuff like that. Keep in mind, too, certain things where it says like branding, unlock to be pro. We're going to talk about what you can get in the pro section as well. So just keep that in mind. Okay, user agreement, data. Okay, so manage data source. This allows you to export app data. Okay, so this is a little bit more advanced if people want to know about it, but this is if we're using another database or things like that. We'll just keep that on another section in a little bit, but just keep in mind that you can use other databases as well. Sell your app as a template, submit template. That's awesome. Update your plan. We can change it to Pro or whatever. And then it says connect to Zapier, Google Analytics, and more. So this is awesome. So you can actually build in more features with your app because you can use Zapier with this. You can integrate with Zap as well. So the free plan limits 100 Zapier runs per month. So you can do 100 zaps. You can increase it if you go into the pro plan. All right. So let's go into that. So we just talked about the settings. We just looked at what it looks like on the main screen. And let's look at the left side of the page. And this allows you to see a database. Now, what is this? This is allowing you to use Google Sheets as your database. So keep this in mind. Think about how powerful this is. It's using Google Sheets as the database. So we'll talk about the relationship with rows and columns in a minute. But the reason they need access to your G Drive, because it's making changes to Google Sheets. It's making different sheets for you, and then that's powering your database for your app. All right, so let's talk about rows and columns. I know this sounds so boring, but really, if you can understand database structure, this allows you to create the app of your dream. So before we get anywhere, before we switch over, any questions so far before we go into this? Let me make sure that my notes are reflecting. Any questions? Okay, so 12 minutes. I'm just making my marks here. 12. 34. Okay, which is 16. I'm making my marks, so I'm doing everything in repurpose right now. So I'm tracking what I'm going to make the smaller videos on. Okay. Let me go back. Where's my other one? Okay, cool. Where did I just put that? Are the Zaps presets? Tell me more, Erica. Do you mean like, is it already set up with Zaps? Where did I put that thing? Glide. Where did I've got too many folders, and let me just look for it. Not necessarily. Why do I not? For beginners. Glide apps for beginners. Okay. All right, so we need to talk about understanding rows and columns. Okay, so let me go back. Not necessarily, Erica. And the reason I say that is you can add it in, but they don't need to be pre-set up. I would think maybe if you get a certain template that requires Zapier, maybe. I assume because if you're just duplicating it, the template, it would already be set up, but I don't see it automatically. Let's take a look. So I'm on the main page. I'm going to click like a section. Let's see, like buy meal, options, visibility. That's not what I need. Let's see if I can just click on something. No, edit form. Let's try this real quick. Okay, so this is just my screen. Let me just add this. Let me see if I can do this. Inline list, screen, tabs, meals. See, new tab. See, new tab. Let me just see. Beta test. And we'll talk about tabs in a second. But I'm trying to see if this would do what we need. Okay, so beta test became a new tab. So you see at the bottom, let me see if I can zoom in. Oh, I just jacked everything up. I need a pointer. But if you look at the bottom screen where it says like buy meal, buy category, weekly plan, I just did beta test. So then it gave me another like button at the bottom. Let me see. So I already have that set up. Okay, so that's visibility. So that's just basically saying are people watching it all the time? Can everyone see that tab all the time? So that's what visibility. So it's like the peekaboo game with like the babies, right? So if you put your hand in front of your face, the baby's like, where'd your face go? That's the visibility, right? So it's just saying, can people see your stuff or not? Let's see about this real quick, Erica. Tabs, inline list, action. What did I just click? Okay, let's see this. So I said tabs, beta, edit list. I said edit list, dropping down to action, view details. Now right here, I can say like add row, compose email. So I can do actions. I think if I'm in the actions, I can then do a zap. I should just look for it real quick. Glide apps, how to use here. Easy drag and drop, blah, blah, blah. Integrating Zapier into Glide. Let's take a look. No, I don't want to see that video right now. So the simple answer is not by default unless it's already there. And then I'm going to have to look at what I need to do. So I'm going to do that also, but it's going to be later. Does that help, Erica? I just need to go to the help menu. I'll just have to look for it. But I think you can do it. I just don't know how to yet. I don't know how to yet. But we'll get it. This is why we're doing this tonight. We're going to learn all the features. Okay. So we just learned the onboarding sequence, setting up Google Sheet and Glide account, understanding rows and columns. All right, let's talk about rows and columns. Rows and columns. Rows and columns. Okay, so let's go to the front page and talk about this for a second. What you're seeing is how the data sheet is allowing you to see. Basically, let me switch over so you can see my face. All right, y'all. Rows, it's starting off good already. Rows and columns allow you to have the association of what the database is seeing. Rows are across, columns are up and down. When you're seeing Glide and you're seeing the rows, whatever you're seeing in the app, the display, you're seeing it in a different way. So for example, when we switch it over and you see over here where it says style, it says lists, tiles, calendars, checklists, cards, details. It's allowing you to see the orientation of rows and columns in a very specific way. So when you're seeing tiles, this breakfast, lunch, all of those things, you're seeing certain information from rows and columns. In a layman's term, it's just allowing you to understand and interact with the database in a way that's not boring. That's what I'm going to say. So if you're looking at this, right, we're seeing meals, food, recipes, weeks. That's what we're being able to see in the app. Breakfast, right? So breakfast is across. That's a row. But what do we know about breakfast? We can see the 2 eggs. We can see the links, all of those things. So remember, all it's doing is displaying your rows and columns in a very specific way. When we go to list version on style, we're seeing this again. We're seeing breakfast, lunch in a very specific way in list. It looks different with the titles because it's just oriented differently. It's the same exact information. Glide is allowing you to see this in a multiple ways, and you can edit that list over here. Let me know if that makes sense. I saw some people drop off. Some people are like, this is too much. It's 11 o'clock at night. I don't want to hear this foolishness. And that's okay. But let me know if that makes sense. Rows and columns, all it is allowing you to see data in a certain way. And you get to structure it. You get to look at it in different ways. Let me know in the chat if that makes sense. If you're saying, Doc, that makes no sense, like just explain it in a different way, let me know. Okay. Now, the reason this is important is if you can understand how you can orientate rows and columns, and the good thing is Glide is doing this a lot for you. If you look at it, you don't have to do a lot of the work. It already made all of those decisions for you because it structured the database for you. But it's important for you to understand that. So if you import it or if you change the database, you know that you're not just deleting random things. You understand how it got there. Okay. So right here, it's saying breakfast, lunch, snack, pre-workout, dinner. Anthony, thank you so much. Right here, all of this stuff. Now I can go into the database by meal, and I can just say, I can just say like second breakfast, right? Shout out to all the hobbits out there. Second breakfast, and I can just say, oatmeal, 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 something like that, right? And then I can have a link over there if I want to, and then I can have an image because it's pulling the image, right? So let's take a look. We're going to go back. You see how it pulled right there, and then it said second breakfast because I went into the database and I added second breakfast right here. So it's now associating what is in the database, and then it's making something visual. That is why Glide is so powerful. So it's taking a Google sheet and then making an app for you out of that. And it's making it actually look good and beautiful. That's what it does. Okay, so once we have that on the section of data, if you want to create very specific ones, we'll talk about it. But just keep in mind, that's how it works. The different tables are different things, right? So this is meals, food, recipes, and weeks. So if we go and look at the app, we have meals. We're structuring this by category. So then it's grabbing based on categories. Look at this over here on the left-hand side. It's now having that. And then over here, we're seeing weekly plan and we're seeing beta. Okay. So we have that. The question, is this crazy expensive? That's a good question. Let's take a look. Let's look at the pricing. So you can start out with for the free plan, right? You can start out with the free plan, but let's talk about if you're scaling up. And I'm going to talk about it depends on what you're doing, right? So for the free plan, you're getting 500 data rows. So it depends on what kind of app you're creating. Yeah, not a problem. No problem. Thank you for being here. So the free plan, you can have 500 data rows, 1,000 sheet updates, which is pretty good. Public sign-in, 10% transaction fee. So if you're charging for your app or there's in-app purchases, it's taking 10% of the transaction fees. You'll have a Glide branding app and 100 megabytes file storage. So what I would say is it kind of depends on what kind of app you're creating and where to start. So 500 rows of data is actually pretty good to get started if you're just trying it out. It depends on what you're doing. Depends on what you're doing. So it can be expensive. Now, I will say this. If I'm going into the Pro app, I'm only doing it for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm already proving my concept, or I at least have a client that is paying me a certain amount, and then it pays for itself. So I would encourage anyone to just stay on the free plan until you validate where people want to pay you for your app or your services. If you're already a nutritionist and which you are, Squirtles and versus Charmander, you would look for that. Look at, is this app providing value? And if it's already rolled up in your consultation or your in your monthly fee, you can either give them the app and it's baked into whatever they're paying you per month for consulting, or you're saying, hey, if you can't pay for my consultations, you can have the app for X amount per year, X amount per month, and then go from there. Yeah. So the Pro app is $32 a month, 25,000 data rows, which is pretty great. I mean, the likelihood that you're going to run out of that is pretty low. Unlimited data sheet updates. That's awesome. 2% transaction fees. So now it's dropping down. And so with this and Stripe, you're paying like a 4.9%, something like that, right? Because the Stripe transaction fee plus Glide's 2%. So I'm looking at like 4.9%. So close to 5. No Glide branding. You get 10 gigs of file storage, which is pretty great. You can have a custom domain, Google Analytics, and upload files up to 1 gig. Yeah, I'll take that. So keep that in mind. It's not crazy expensive in comparison to a lot of app builders. But again, what I would do is, if I'm really thinking about it, I would look at what am I doing with Glide? Am I making money? And then I would go into Pro. Stud, thanks so much for stopping by and seeing us. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, so you custom domain as in a website also, yes. So keep in mind, because this is optimized and you can do it like on a tablet or something like this, some people decide to just use Glide. If they're making an app, it just becomes their entire brand, or you use it as, some people use it as subdomain. They're either going to use it like a Wix or a Squarespace website, and then they're going to use this as a subdomain or something like that. Either way could work, but some people just use it as their full website too. Yeah, depends on what you're trying to do. Private pro app, it kind of just depends. I mean, I probably would just do personal app for free, go to pro. I know some people that do private pro app, but for the most part, those are more corporations or more, brand clients that need more privacy or want to do something else. But for the most part, I think you would do either the free plan to get to validation, then go to the pro app. Yeah, good question. Really good question. Okay, cool. So we talked about onboarding, setting up Google Sheet and Glide account, understanding rows and columns. I think we did that pretty well. Let me know in the chat if you want more details. Let's talk about the Glide dashboard, settings, layout, and database. I think we did that too. Honestly, I think we did that, but we'll go through it again, just making sure that we have everything. Okay, so settings, layout, database. Yeah. So again, the settings we're going to look right to left. Settings is going to be on your right, and this gives you all the details that you need to know about your app. The display is the display of your app, and you can navigate it through the tabs right here, or also the screens. So this allows you to understand what's happening with the screens. Let's see with options. In-app sort. Let's see. Okay, so here we can decide on search. We're going to have a search bar, right? So we can turn off the search bar. We can have it right here, which is really handy. Limit the items displayed, so I can add a filter here. Group by, so we can group it by meals, the ingredients groups, the images. That's pretty cool. In-app filter. App sort, so I can still even sort it more down here. So again, I'm displaying it. It goes back to rows and columns. What are we displaying? How are you seeing the relationship with the app? And then if I switch it over, you see if I'm switching this, I'm saying by meal, by category, by weekly plan. Now I'm seeing different options. The visibility. Screen right here. Now, if I'm looking at this screen for a second, right? I can say by category. I can click here, and now it says insert components. The insert component section now allows me to do different things. I can drag and drop text. I can change out some of the layout, basic table, separator, title. I can add that on the fly. So if you're used to a website builder, here you go. Here's the components. I can have media, so I can have audio, image, map, video, web view. So remember we were talking about that podcast app. If we wanted to create it, this is how we're going to be able to do it pretty easily just by components and things like that. Buttons, I can drop buttons, and let's just take a look at what we can do. Okay, so we have this over here. Yeah, let me know. Let's see about this. Let me add this. How do I get there? Okay, that's a good question. So after I'm here, depending on the exact screen, so look at this. If I'm at different screens, it will say, like right here, it says, for now, you can only add a component in a details view, right? So if I'm in a details view, I can change it. So depending on the type of screen I'm in, then it's going to have that. So, paper smiley? What is this? Did I say that right? Paper smiley? Thank you so much for dropping in. So if I'm looking at this page, here it's in a detailed view, and that's why if I click by category, then I'm allowed to add a component. Okay, so it depends on the type of page that I have, and then I can add components. Hopefully that makes sense. So if I'm going to one screen, it says by meal. Let me scroll over. It says, for now, you can only add a component in a details view. And it says for now, so that might be that they might just change it later on in the app. But for now, you're going to have to go to a page that already has a detailed view, which it already has the data right there, and then I can have it. Yeah. Then, so I picked by category, and then by category, I get the option to add a component. I add a component here, and then if I'm looking at this, now I have this, I can add a button. So let me go to buttons. I'm going to drop it. And you see how I just added a button? And then it has it at the bottom here. And it says go. Now that I have a button on there, and by the way, I can just delete it, right? It deletes again. Let's add it again. I'm going to have a button. I'm going to click insert component. I'm going to say button right here. And it says go. Now, if you notice when I click the button go, on the right-hand side, now I can have options. Number one, I can say click me, right? So I can change out what the button says. See about what it says. Okay, so then it makes the changes, you see? Then it makes the changes, and now it's right here. But now I can change it. Do I need an icon? None. Show as, so I can change some things. Erica, if you're watching this right here, you can see it right here where it says like action, show notification. I wonder, I bet I probably could just like search it. Yeah. So right here, when I add a button, I can add like Zapier right here. And then it says no zaps configured in Zapier. So now I can actually go, if I had Zapier set up, I could do something where it's automatically going to trigger something based on what I just did. I don't have anything set up. I haven't connected my account, so I can't do that right now. But that's where I could have it with the actions. Let me add that. Mark says, can you individualize content within an app for a specific user? Say you're a personal trainer and you create a specific meal plan for clients. Is that possible in the free or paid version? Yes. So that comes down to conditional visibility. So it depends on their profile. So you would need to have them first log in and then decide in their profile view what kind of user they are. And then you could determine what kind of content is specific to that user. Cool. That's a really good question, Mark. So say, for instance, you can have anyone sign up just with their email. Then if they have a section, this goes back into another one we'll talk about in a minute. If you have a user profile, so then they have to log in and say, hey, I'm this kind of person. I'm a male. I'm 39 years old. I'm this much weight. I'm doing all this stuff. Or you could say, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to put on muscle mass. Then it will you can then do conditional displays and then get the access to whatever your type of user is signed in. Yeah, so that would be conditional. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, so you can have it conditional that way. There's another thing is relational, but we'll talk about that. That's later on. That's depending if you're in a certain category. You could also do that if you're, if you're a bodybuilder or something like that. For me, I would probably, and this is just me because, I'm lazy when it comes to building apps. I might just look at if there's an app already built like that in Glide. If it's a template, I might just pay for it. Yeah. Typeform has a sort of conditional logic that takes you down paths. Yep, exactly right. So so imagine it's just like that, right? So Typeform's allowing you to have conditional. This one's doing conditional, but then it's giving you access. So again, remember it was like I was talking about rows and columns. It's allowing you to display or see data. It allows you to understand, or the app is allowing you to know or see certain things based on the data you gave it. So yeah, perfect. Let's see meal. Let's see weight loss. Something like that. Let's go on. I think health. I'll just go to health. I think squirrels versus Charmander. I think you were talking about this. If I go to health, see what else they have. Now this is just for me personally. If I go in and start looking at other people's, let's see, they have a CrossFit gym. They have a local food one, pulse tracking, COVID Toronto, peace prompts, Vital Q, fitness app by Bitcot. Let's see about this. 10-minute strength. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Love the emoji. Or I love the GIF. Let's take a look at this. So if I'm clicking this, this is one thing, like if I already like how someone set up their database and I don't want to do it from scratch, or I'm just learning, I want to see how they set it up, I'll probably just usually buy their app and then just copy it over and see what they did, what I liked, what I didn't like, and then go from there. So let's see. What workout method would you like today? So this one automatically, it's like allowing you, this is probably relational right here. So I'm going to say super easy, bro, mega bro. Okay, let's see. Let's go. Okay, workouts associated with that back. Okay. Exercises, tells me the reps. Do you love it? Okay, so then it allows me to have favorites based on me. I can write notes. Okay, workouts, warm-ups, deadlifts, main workouts. Okay, that's fine. What does it say? Music groups? Oh, it says muscle groups. I was like, what in the world? Doesn't make any sense. Read it. Okay, so you can sign out about, let's see about this. Okay, what is this app? Okay, so it talks about who this is. Okay, does it allow me to, okay, so this is kind of, so once I get it, then it will be okay. So it doesn't allow me to have a lot of customization for my user. I might go back and try to find one that's a little bit more detailed or built out. Let's go back one. The 99 one. A little expensive, but if it has everything I need, then I look at it, how much time and effort does it take me to build it myself and to have all of these things if I just go in and then just customize? Yeah, looks all right. This one might be a little bit more complete. Fitness app. I guess I could go and read it more. Plan. Fitness stories. Okay, so this is kind of basic. Not what I'm looking for. So even if so this one kind of just allows you to use a similar one that people, that they're known for. Because that's cool. It's already got everything built in for YouTube. No, it's not worth 99. I wouldn't do it. I was hoping for that much. It would already be building up user profiles. All right. So what I would probably do is Glide Apps. How to make user profiles. Okay. So they have a user profile one right here. User profiles on Glide library. And their documentation is pretty spot on. I really like it. I'll drop it in the chat. But this allows you basically to see how to create it. Right? So it says, okay, it already has a user profile. Setting up user profile table. Okay, so right here, it's already telling me how to do it. So I probably wouldn't just pay for someone else. I'd probably watch the video. I'll drop it in the chat. So content just comes with the app. It depends on which template you get. It's not just content. Sometimes it's the structure of how the app is made. That's why I would buy it. I guess some people would buy it for content, but I'm just buying it for the structure because I'm trying to do something quickly. But a lot of these are pretty good videos. If people want, later on I can do this. But to use user profiles, you need to use public with email or allowed. This is actually a pretty good article. I think this is pretty easy. User profile screens. So it's teaching you how to do it. The Glide library is pretty spot on. So as you can see right here, it's teaching me how to do profiles, so I could do it. So is this mobile only? No. It's mobile optimized. It's mobile optimized. So you can still see. Oh, I should have done this so you can see this. Yeah, no problem, Mark. Anytime. So let me bring this up. Let me make this public. Let's see. New updates messed up. Free users setup. Now you have to pay for additional users. Tell me more about this. New updates messed up. Free users setup. Are you saying that it messed up past free users setup? Okay. So right here where I say publish app, I click publish app. I can say copy link, right? Oh, it messed up past ones. Interesting. So what you have to do, okay, so I have this. Copy. Okay, so you can scan to install. Okay, let's click this button. And then, okay, so it says made with Glide app, obviously, because it's branded. Docs meal plan. And then you can just go from here. Share with app. I just shared it. So as you can see, I can do it on, desktop. Let's see what it would look like mobile optimized. Let's see. Okay, right? So then when I go mobile optimize, look, it's made for it so it can tell, right? So then if I go somewhere like tablet style, let's see. Tablet style would probably, let me move some stuff around. If I had it that way, it'd probably move it to be a tablet too. Oh, I've got a C2 because I have a free plan. Does it even let me do? Or is it only tablet when I upgrade? Let me see about this. That's a good question. Let me do this. Glide. Let me do Glide. Apps.com. Let's go to pricing. That might be the caveat. Okay, yeah. So if I'm doing free mobile layout, if I do pro app, mobile, tablet, desktop layouts, right? So it's not going to let me do those, and only mobile for the free one. Good catch. Old apps were grandfathered in, but new apps we will need to pay to upgrade to be able to make use of users with in-app and users' permissions and custom views. Yeah, makes sense. Custom views, yeah. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Good call, and thank you very much for bringing that up. Thank you. Where's applause for that one? Thank you very much. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, making a lot of changes. What was I going to say? Okay, yeah. So we did that. That makes sense. So, squirrels versus Charmander. Keep in mind, if you're going to try this out again, MVP, I would do that mobile only, and then if you're getting paying clients or something like that, then it can switch over and go from there. So again, for me, probably if I was doing this and I was starting from scratch, what would I do? I'd probably have a website that I already have in WordPress or something like that, or softer. And then if I wanted an app for my clients or I'm doing something like that, then I would just have it as an MVP in my personal app, just as mobile first. Then if I'm making money, then I would switch over to Pro app. And then, of course, it can have mobile, tablet, whatever. But I'm really into getting paid with my ideas first. So I would see if people like it, if it's working out, all of those things. And that's usually what I'm doing with my first apps. See what happens. Of course, if you're working with a client and they're already paying for it. So that's the other thing. So if I'm looking at this and I already have clientele and I'm building out an app for them, you best believe I'm either rolling in the cost per app per month, or I'm just having them pay for it and they're just using it on their business card. I don't have to worry about it and they're just giving me access. That's standard because I'm not paying that. Yeah, really good question. Okay, cool. So we have that done. Let's go a little bit deeper. Okay, so we finished that. What's the other thing that is on my list? Oh, and let me put it in the chat. So now you can see it. It's mobile. It's just the one that I just made. And you go from there. Yeah. Yep. Really good question. All right, so now it's published, and then I can share it. I can do whatever. Then we're rolling. We're rocking and rolling. Okay, so we just shared it there. That's done. All right, let's take a look. So we just looked at settings, layout, database. Yeah, so right now you don't have a website yet, so I'm considering using this instead. Possibly, yeah. Yeah, definitely. And again, if it's like, if you need it for a website, okay, so it's or you just do it mobile, you only do mobile first and then go from there. And you just let people know. It's up to you. In your use case. Yeah. Good question. Okay, so we just talked about onboarding. We talked about setting up Google Sheets and Glide account, understanding rows and columns. Okay, we talked about that. And in the chat, if you could like, if Erica, if you're here, if you're going to describe understanding rows and columns or anyone, please let me know. I want to make sure that I'm saying it in a way that just makes sense and it's more accessible than going all technical. So I'm having it as just like it's a way to view data. Whatever you're saving the data in your app, when you're seeing rows and columns, it's just visually seeing what's in your table. It's visually seeing what's in your table and the relationship with it. If there's an easier way to say it, please let me know. Okay. Okay, cool. Next up, let's talk about, okay, so we talked about components. And the components, remember, if we look at it, keep in mind, if you're doing components, you can only do it on the details view. So if I do components right here, I'm just clicking the plus sign. Okay, cool. We're going with that. We're going with that. So then here I can add whatever components I want, charts, entry fields, pickers, whatever I need to do here, I can have it done on the insert components. And it is very similar to just like a website. I am clicking what components or what I want to be displayed on that page, and then I can do that. So that's what components are. Okay, so next we're going to look at relations. And this is what we were saying, the difference between like conditional and then relations, what relations are. So let's take a look at how they explain relations, and then we'll kind of take a look a little bit more. Introduction to relations. And we'll look at the difference between relation, the buttons and the components, and like introduction here. Drop this in the chat. Okay, so introduction to linking items together. So this is basically a relationship. So there are different types of relationships in communities, in how we categorize things, such as like a teacher-student relationship. There are country relationships, right? So some people live in Australia, some people live in the United States, some people live in the UK. It's depending on how the two pieces of data interact with each other. That's what it is. Okay? So that's where it's saying single relationship or multiple. So it's like one-to-one or one-to-many. So the biggest thing is one-to-one is like this to this or one-to-many. So I'm not sure if you can hear this. Let me see if I can play this. If you can't hear it, let me know.
Rows in your sheet become items in your apps. Each item can have properties. For example, an employee can have a name.
Can you hear this? If not, I won't play it. I don't know if you can hear this.
Number, email, an image. But what if your employee has a manager or an office? In other words,
can't hear it? Yeah, I won't play it then. So it's basically just saying if you want this one, I dropped it in the chat, but I'm going to do it again. This one was exactly what I was talking about before. It's just mapping out the relationship. Is it like a person to person, or is it a person that has multiple people attached to him? Like you're a manager, you have multiple people working for you, versus you're one employee, you have one boss, right? So it's how it's combined together. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, good question. All right, let me see. I don't know if I can. That's the only thing when I'm using this one. When I do a share screen, I'm not sure if I can do it in. Let me check. The only thing in using Ecamm, I'm not sure if I can do audio. Hold on one second. Let me look at my settings. Hold on. Audio, speakers, mute, movie sounds, broadcast, screen mode, screen sharing. Let's take a look. Let's see if we can do it. Screen sharing. Let's see about this. Let's see about this audio. 1, 2. Let's see. Mic. We don't need a mic delay. Mute movie sound. No, it should be fine. Sorry, everyone. Play sounds from certain actions. No. Sorry. You'd think it would be simple. Let's see if this is going to work. I'm not sure if this is going to work. If we can't hear it again, I'm just going to move on.
If an item has another item, how would you show this in your app? Well, that's when you use a relation.
Oh, hold on.
Here you can see 3 examples of apps where items in one area relate.
Okay, cool. I think I got it. Hold on. Move some things around. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's go back. I think we're going to be able to hear this.
Rows in your sheet become items in your apps. Each item can have properties. For example, an employee can have a name, number, email, an image. But what if your employee has a manager or an office? In other words, what if an item has another item? How would you show this in your app? Well, that's when you use a relation. Here you can see 3 examples of apps where items in one area relate to items in another. In this company app, employees have locations. In this conference app, events have speakers. And in this blogging app, blog posts have authors. All of these are using relation columns in Glide to relate one list to another. A relation is a type of computed column that you create in the data editor that links one table to another table. For example, if you have an employees table and a locations table, you could create a relation column to match every employee to the location that they work in. The important thing to realize here is that we don't relate every employee's location individually. Instead, we make a recipe that explains how to relate any employee to their location. In our case, the recipe goes like this. For every employee, take the value that's in their location column. Then, look in the locations table in the name column. When you find a match for that value, you've found the employee's location. Another word for recipe is algorithm. That's what we're doing here. We're just doing it with Glide. Relations can get a little bit confusing, but a useful way to think about them is by using the phrases has a and has many. For example, an employee has a location. An employee has a manager. You might also describe these as one-to-one relations. But your items might have multiple items that relate to them. A location has many employees, or a manager has many reports. You might think of these as one-to-many relations. And luckily, relation columns in Glide make this really easy. You just click Match Multiple. Using the has a and has many phrases helps us think clearly about the structure of our app. For example, say we're making a conference app. We could write down, a conference has many talks. A talk has many speakers. A talk has many topics. And a talk has a room. Now we're clear that we need 4 lists of items: talks, speakers, topics, and rooms. And we need to create relations to connect them together.
All right. So let me know if that makes sense to you. I like it. I can't think about it too hard or I start wanting to drink. So for me, usually I understand these things. I write down just kind of sketching out what I need. And then I just start building. I'm just going to be honest with you. If I do it, I think I just overthink it too much. So I just think about, okay, is it one-to-one or do I need to do one-to-many? And then I just start one at a time. That's just me. Some people, they understand it right off the bat. So I'm just letting you know. I like this video. It's a good start, but what I would do is start working in the editor start going from there, and really start watching, or just do one at a time. Don't get so overwhelmed that everything has to. Someone pull out some liquor. Yep. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm gonna need it after this one. So I understand the basics, and then start looking at just look for examples, because that is going to allow you to understand how to build it the way that you want it. So just go and start looking at how to start applying it. Don't watch so many videos that you're overthinking it. That's what I would suggest. Okay, so let's go back into this thing, and let's go try to look at some columns and some things, and let's go build it. Okay. So the next thing that I can do is, it kind of depends. Does the chat want me to build out and just go through building user profiles, or do people want to see me build out like a relations in the chat? Let me know, in the database. Let me know what people want, and I'll do it. Let me know. I got some background music. Let me know. Okay. All right. So I see some votes for relations. Okay. All right. Let's do it. I'm pretty easily swayed, actually. Let's take a look. All right. So what I'm going to do is... All right. Let's do it. All right. So we're going to look at what happens here. I'm moving some stuff around real quick. I have too many tabs. Way too many tabs. Okay. Here. Pricing there. Let's do relations. All right, so we have this one over here. Oh, okay. You know what? This is going to be a twofold, actually, now that I think about it. Because we'll have to build out profiles first in order for it to have relations, actually, now that I think about it. Because, yeah, I think I need to do that first. Okay, first. All right, so we need to do profiles. See, you guys tricked me. I didn't think about that. I think I had to do profiles first, because then the app would know what it's doing. Dang it. I was trying to get out of work. All right. We'll just do that. Let's take a look. All right. Let's do user profiles first. All right. So I got to make a user profile. Let me watch this video, and then I think I can do it pretty easily. Yeah, this won't be that hard. Okay. We do layout. All right. Let me watch this video, and then we'll knock this out.
There are different aspects to the way that we design apps. There's the structure of our app's data. There's the layout of this data in screens and navigation. There's the actions users can perform within the app, but there's also the types of users that our app.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. As I'm doing this too, I'm probably just going to be clicking around. I don't feel like watching another video. I think I'm just going to start reading it and just doing it. All right, let's just take a look real quick. Okay, let's take a look. Setting up user profiles table. Okay. By default, no user profile table is set. To set one, create a new table in columns for name, email, and photo. You can add more later depending on it. Next up, your app's menu will click sign in. All right, let's just do this. So, I'm impatient. I have a problem. Let's take a look at this. Okay, this is over here. I'm going to go over here. What did it say? I needed to go over, make a database. Click this here. Okay. Database is right here. So I need to have a sign in. Okay, create a new table with columns. Okay, let me just make that. I could be messing this up, but I just don't feel like watching another video. Okay, so I'm going to do table. I'm going to say new glide table. New glide table. Hysterical name. So this one just makes up random names. So I'm going to call this profile names here. Okay, so I have profile names. Name, what do I need to have the columns named? Name, email, and photo. Okay, name, email. Can I name this again? Email? How do I do this? Edit, email. Okay, done. Let's change this to edit, photo, right? It said photo, right? Photo. Okay, done. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to delete it. Sure you wanted to delete this column? Yes. Oh, wait. Now I have remorse. Okay. Oh, whatever. All right. So I have that done there. So I have a column. I have a table. It says profile names. Name, email, photos, right? Okay. Oh, wait. Does it say that? Okay. Yeah. Photo. You can add more later. Next, open your apps menu and click sign in. The right panel will now show profile settings. Let's see. Hey Doc, are you going to the mile-long yard sale this weekend? First of all, Jay's coming in here. Thank you so much for being here. Depends. Are you buying me stuff at this yard sale? Depends what's going on. There might be quilts there. It might happen. Well, you let me know. Go get me a quilt, and then we can decide on this. Jay's in the building, everybody. Let's see. If you watched my stream, you could have built a yard sale app yourself. Let's see. Okay. Next, open your apps menu and click sign in. The right panel will show user profile settings. Okay. All right, let me do that. I will pay you your I'll PayPal you. Let's see. Profile screen. Details. Sign in. So I'm signed in there. Where does it say it? Okay. So right there, maybe? No. That one's showing me the invite of it. User. I wonder if this is the old icons too. See menu. I know it's something simple. I'm just not doing it. I will pay you the $10 I owe you. Let's see options, add flow. Where am I missing this? Anthony, no problem. Yes, it will be recorded. This will be up tomorrow. We'll be here. Thanks so much for hanging out here. Yep. It'll be up here. Yep. Let's see about this. Yeah, we got all kinds of people in the chat, Jay. That's right. Squirtle and Charmander has been killing it all night. Erica's been here. Mark's been here. Tons of people. No problem. This is good stuff. All right, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to watch this video for a second. I'm missing something. And also the icons, the way that this video, it looks like it's, or the way that this, the screen setup, it's a little bit different. All right, fine. We'll watch the video. Fine.
Apps are made for. When we design for different types of users, our app can look and behave very differently depending on who's logged in. The best way to manage and think about different types of users is through user profiles. We're going to cover whether or not you need user profiles, the basics of what you can do with user profiles, how to set them up, and 3 basic examples of ways to use user profiles. Not all apps actually require user profiles. An app like a simple city guide that lists information probably doesn't need it. If we only want people to read the information in our app, and we want all users to read the same information, then we can simply make our app public and be done with it. But if we think about more complex apps, the apps that we use every day, many of these are inextricably tied to our data. These apps show very different things depending on who's logged into them. When we have user profiles enabled in our app, depending on who's logged in, our app can hide or show different items, hide or show components, enable or disable editing rights, and can even display the current user's profile data within the app. The best way to manage users and their attributes is through a user profiles sheet. With a user profiles sheet, we can add many different attributes or properties for our users, which will then allow us to set different conditions. For example, if the user's access level is admin, then allow them to edit and delete items. If the user's score is higher than 10, unlock these items. And if the user's category is in the blue team, then show this image. Glide needs to know the user's email for user profiles to work, so we need to make sure our app uses a sign-in method that enables this. This could be public with email whitelist, or alternatively, your app could be an internal organization app. To enable user profiles, open the app menu in Glide, click Sign In, and choose a user profiles sheet. The three most basic attributes of a user are their name, email, and photo. So a user profile sheet should contain at least these three. From there, app. Make sure our app user's score is higher than 10, unlock these items. And if the user's category is in the blue team, then show this image. Glide needs to know the user's email for user profiles to work, so we need to make sure our app uses a sign-in method that enables this. This could be public with email whitelist, or alternatively, your app could be an internal organization app. To enable user profiles, open the app menu in Glide, click Sign In, and choose a user profiles sheet. The three most basic attributes of a user.
Okay. So let's see if we can do this. What am I missing? Okay, so it's the orientation of that is slightly different, but let's see where it'd be. Okay, so I'm in right here. What am I missing? Maybe it would just be here. What am I? Something that I'm missing. If I'm missing something, chat, just let me know. But, okay, so you just go into the sign-in. The name shows up in the app menu. Okay, so the app menu. Okay, so app menu. Okay, that's not there. App menu. Okay, so I would assume it's in my settings. Let me see app menu. I'm just seeing it. Let's see. Sign in screen. Use your brand to greet users. Okay. Please enter your email. Theme, background, but that's more granting. App menu. App menu. What am I missing here? Okay, I'm here. I'm already signed in over there. That's not an issue. You see, he clicked on it, and then that's the only problem with videos. Sometimes when things get changed, automatically did that. And then he added with users. Now, I already had this done. I already had the list over here, profile names, and I'll rename it to just be users. Okay, so I already have that set up. I have all of that set up. I go back here, go to the app, look for where the user icon is, but the user icon's not there. Play mode, well, Select mode? What's play mode? Is it like sandbox mode? Select mode. Oh, maybe it's... Okay. All right, let's take a look. It's systematic. It's got to be here. It's just something that I'm missing. It's so simple. Actions are here. Options, overlays, style, design, data, users, in-app filter, add form. I don't need to do that. Okay, so that's all in my meal. If I look at anything else with the categories, I don't see it. Okay, user profiles. Let me look at this again. Setting the user profile tab. By default, no user profile table is set. Set one, create one. I already did that. You can add more later. Next, open the app's menu and click sign in. The right panel will now show user profile settings. Choose the table with your users and connect the name, email, and image to the correct columns. Okay. So I'm right here. I'm in this section here. I'm looking around. Options. It's not options. If I'm in general, labels, source. Okay, now I have an option for users. Let me click on it. Let me see what happens. But users show up no items yet. Okay, well that makes sense because it's not like... Okay, so let's go with edit. Allow text wrapping, doesn't matter. Overlay, view, titles. I am doing something. It's just something so simple I'm just missing. I know it's something simple. Source. There's no point right here. We haven't set it up yet. Open your apps menu and click sign in. You would think that the sign in would be over here. Let's take a look. Let's look over here. Not there either. Appearance. It's not an appearance. You would think it would be in the sign in screen. Greetings. Let me check. Is it in the... Hold on. Let's check. It should be... It's not like a new feature where it's a paid feature, right? Because that would drive me insane. Let me check. We eliminate all these other options. Maybe it's something that I just missed. Let's go into pricing. Okay, so anyone can sign in with using the email address. So it is in the free plan. Okay, so we don't have to stress. We're in the right well, we know that it has the capabilities. Now it's setting up the user account. We've already got this. Did I change anything? Do I need anything? No. Just go here, and then it's going to be, we're going to watch this video again, make sure, and then we're going to see it. If I'm missing something in the chat, let me know, but am I going insane? I thought I had it. Hold on, maybe it's something that's just really simple.
To set different conditions. For example, if the user's access level is admin, then allow them to edit and delete items. If the user's score is higher than 10, unlock these items. And if the user's category is in the blue team, then show this image. Glide needs to know the user's email for user profiles to work, so we need to make sure our app uses a sign-in method that enables this. This could be public with email whitelist, or alternatively, your app could be an internal organization app. To enable user profiles, open the app menu in Glide, click Sign In, and choose a user profiles sheet.
Okay, so I think we did do that. Let's take a look. So maybe that's in the settings section. Settings. Sign in. What did I just do? I thought I saw where you could sign in. Sign in with email. Private sign in. Allow to sign in with Google account. Hide user address. Replace real address with virtual addresses. No. Oh, okay. That says user email addresses. Replace real addresses with virtual addresses. Upgrade to enable collect real user email addresses. That's interesting. That's interesting. So that means if I then can use it for my own email list or have it in there. That's interesting. Okay. Always set user authentication cookie. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Private sign in. No, so okay, so we just did that. Okay, let's see if it makes a difference. So it's under privacy, control access to your app, public sign in, public with email. I'm going to just do that. Okay, let's see if it makes a difference. Now here, aha! Automatically, it just did it. Look at that. There we go. There it is. See, this is what happens when you do different changes from your signups. This is where we got. Okay, so this is how we do it. Okay, so in 2.0, they changed it. See, this is why there's stuff to. Okay, all right. So under appearance, we go to privacy. From privacy, we go to public sign in, public with email, allow sign in with Google account. That's how we do it, y'all. Okay. I'm taking a picture of this so I can remember if this happens again. So even when you're watching tutorials, when things get updated, you just can't plan for this. Hold on. Just adding this in my records right now. Put that there. And then yes. On the other screen, I'm just making this screenshot so I remember this. Man, see, they don't make that easy. Whew. I might have to make this a whole other video just so people won't get confused on this. Look at that. Okay, I'm saving that. Okay, good times. Thanks, everybody, for staying while I'm trying to do that. So you can't collect the emails. This is a good question. I'll have to check. You can if you get the pro version for sure. I wonder because it's passing information, and maybe it has to do more, or it's just a really good upsell. And you can make this private access. You can make it private access. Yes. So that's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah. For collecting emails, I wonder if it has to do more work, or they're just trying to upsell people and then they're saying, hey, this makes sense. Now, there's other ways to collect that information for their email, for their profile. I just wonder if it's for you to have it so you can pass it using Zapier or something like that. I would probably reach out to check with them. But it's probably something like that. Either it's a cash grab and they're upselling you, or it might just be actually honestly harder, or they have to do something else in their system different, and that's why they're charging you extra. I don't know. And they're incentivizing, like, when you want their information, so pay us more. I don't know. But you can make this private on the free account. You can't collect that data. I think there's other ways to do it, though. Probably less effective. If they're setting it up as a profile or something like that, you can probably just see their email anyway and just copy it. I'm not sure if that works at scale, but that's probably my workaround. Not sure if that works, but like hypothetically, that's what I would do, because then when they sign in, you could just have them like, hey, what do you want in your profile? Hey, let us know your preferred email, and then just take it from that way. So I'm not sure if you just can't automatically collect their email, but if you have it as a form for them to sign in and then it just associates with that account, I'd assume that you can still have it. That's a side point. Sorry, I went off on a tangent, But okay, cool. So we just built out that. That's really good information. Okay, so we just did that. Okay, so we just got that with the profile. Using the profile table. Okay, so now we can connect it. Now we can connect it. So we have that, and then we say user, and then we have it associated with the user table. So let's take a look. Wait, do we have that? Yeah. So we have profile. Okay, so look at this. Profiles right here, right? So we just clicked it, right? So now that it has a profile, we can say user profile right here. Then we can say sheet users right here. And then we can match it up. Name to name, email to email, image to photo. Yep. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Okay, so we just did that. Using the user profile table. Editing conditions. Let's say you want to give users different access. For example, users or editors. Editors can edit and delete. Okay, so what would you do? Next, you can add a conditional on editing. Okay, so this is if we wanted to have another profile, and then we can say edit in the access level. And then this goes back into the component visibility. So this is what I was saying, like, if you're doing different things, you can have it go and say, like, if they have this feature, they can now only see these conditions based on what you put in. Okay, so let's just add a role real quick. Let's go back. We're going back to table. Ugh. Just hit back. All right, so here I'm going to go to database or the list of data right here. I'm going to add another column, and the column will just be like admin or access level. Okay. Column is user specific. You will not be able to edit this later. Column is user specific. Yeah, I'll do that. Let's do it. Okay. So let's make one up. How do you create the user tab? Okay, really good question. So in the table section, click the plus sign. Click the plus sign, and then you can create a new table. So I can click that right here, and then it says add new glide table. It's going to appear, and it's just going to be a random name. I just renamed it as user, and then went in and changed it. So click the plus sign, and then you'll get a new one. Yeah. I can make one real quick. Add new table. You see how it says choice food? Just made one up, right? But then I had user, and then I changed it out, and then I changed each column by changing this and said edit, and then I just changed the name. Yeah. All right. So let's just put this in, like doc. Put in Brand Factory Inc. at gmail.com. Let's say access level. Edit. Okay, awesome. Okay. Okay, so I have that. And then I'm just going to say like admin. So let's see if this works. Let's go back to profile view. I switch it over. Profile role. Okay, role feature is only available for private app plans. Interesting. Okay, which isn't a horrible thing, because at that level, so you can still do conditional, right? So if I'm doing something where it takes admins and I'm doing editors, they're saying then you can only do it with a private app plan. That actually makes sense because of all the security probably. So just keeping that in mind. That doesn't mean that you can't do profiles though, or you can't do like user accounts. It's just different roles then you're having limited amounts of roles that you can do. So you can still do conditional. So if you're having like, hey, it's a trainer, I'm a trainer versus this, I'm versus this versus this, you can still do it. Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. But again, good to know. Good to know. Okay. So we have that done. Okay, so when we're doing user profiles, you can still do users if you're having different levels of access. Okay, I gotcha. So you can still have it like, hey, are you a bodybuilder or are you this or that? You can still have it. But roles is now updated for if you have a private app. Mm-hmm. So profiles, you can have it at any level. Roles is something different. Editing conditions. So when we're editing a condition, for example, editors and users, we can still have it two different ways. Editors can edit and delete items. Okay, so then it allows you to have different options on your app. Okay, that makes sense. Let's go here. Oh, okay. Okay. And so when I went back in there and I said roles, let me switch that. Did I switch that? Access level. Well, access level different than rows. Let me just delete this. Yes. Oh, but yeah. Okay, so let me just see this. New column. Client type. Client type. Okay, so I might do this. I might say boot camper, boot camper, boot camp, camper. See if we do that. Boot camper. What happens if I do that? Okay, so then if we switch over, we do profile view. And then what I can do is details. No. Excuse me. Can I click on this? Oh, so it's asking me to add a picture. Let's see about this. And then I can say like, oh, let me add some other stuff. Okay, can I add things here? Let's go here. Exit this out. Now I can say sign out. User type. Oh, I want them to say, let me have them do this. Form, can I say form? No. I'll say text. Let's just say text. Action text? Let's say action text. What does that do? Okay, email. Okay. I'm going to say name. Okay. So then they have the name there. Let's go back again. Action text again. I'm going to put the email down there. Action text again. Let's make it client type. Okay. So then if I have client type here, right? What did I say in my database? Boot camper. Then if I say option, add condition. So visibility is not a security feature. Visibility is not a security feature and should not be used to hide private features. Okay, so this is really important. So when you're doing that, some people just hide things, but remember, depending on what you're doing, remember, it's a mask. It's just doing those things. So if you need to do HIPAA compliant or doing something with security, they're just letting you know the visibility, don't try to just mask it because you could still, I'm assuming, because this is a website and you can still have the data there. If people did the inspector tool, they could probably still see that data if it's there. That's what I'm hypothetically thinking why they're saying don't use it like that. And then they have other protocols and you can see it in the documentation for security. So that's probably why they're saying don't use it as a security thing. Don't say you can't see anything and it's actually still there. Does that make sense? So it says, let's see what we can do. So we could do client type, right? So if the client type says includes, and see, I can say value, boot camper, then I can say, okay, client there, add a condition. I thought I just did. Let's do this. Client type includes boot camper. Can I change anything else? Okay, I'm good with that. Visibility. Yeah. What else am I missing? I just said this to you? Oh, okay, so I just did. Okay. So you see? Where is it? I thought I just did this. Okay. Show component when client type includes boot camper. So here is, if you can see this on the right hand side, I can start changing things around, what the page looks like, what it does, based on their what they say they are, right? So in their profile, if they include certain things, then I can have different components happen on that page or the rest of the app, all those things, if they say that they're already a boot camper. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. Okay, so this is where it goes into conditional things. Okay. Editing conditions, okay. So we have that component. So this is where it's saying you could also add properties to your user table, which could be used to hide and show components. In this way, you will be able to show some content to some users and hide it from others. Instead of using text-based conditions, you can create a true and false column too. So if a user has bought a subscription, you could make the column true, and if they haven't, false. So that way, I don't even need them to like do components and all those things. Where I'd say, hey, they're a boot camper, I could say, I can make large like true and false statements and then have things happen, right? So that way I could have a whole tab or a whole section of the app. If they paid for this, they can now get this access to this many videos in the course or in the app. Let me know if that makes sense. Yes, kind of. So for example, if a client has a particular diagnosis, certain content could be shown, yes, for them specifically. Yes. So you just change it in that section and say, okay, this person has hypothyroidism or something like that. Am I saying it right? Or this person has all different types. You could have it. Yes. Let's see. My fibromyalgia. That's what I was thinking in my head. Computed columns. Okay. You can also use user profile data in computed columns in the template column. For example, you could create a message that welcomed the user and refer to them by name. Okay, yeah, you could do that. Okay, roles. Now that you understand profiles, check out this guide for roles and a way to assign different roles to users. Okay, so, and again, that's going to be in the app that is slightly more expensive. I mean, slightly. It's more. Yeah, you gotta go. No worries, Erica. Thank you so much for being here. We don't do these late night streams that much anymore. Thanks for hanging tight. Yeah, have a wonderful evening. That would be 40. Yeah. Okay. So we knocked out. Yeah, we knocked out quite a bit. We knocked out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Let's see about chat. Chat. How to create chat. Glide apps. Need help on creating private chat. Chat tab. Need help on creating private chat. Let's see about this. You can enable chat in any app with the navigation settings and drag it. Okay. This is a chat where anyone can post messages. Okay. So what they need is private chat, which makes a lot of sense. Okay, because this one's deleting messages. That would be more public. Okay. How long have we been streaming for? How long? I know we have. What is this streaming monitor? I know it's off. Hold on one second. Here's my other chat. Oh, we've almost been streaming for 2 hours? Oh, wow. Okay. Good times. Can I access this glide tutorial? Yeah, I mean, you mean the video that we're doing or just the notes? Let me know. Let's see. Okay, so if we do that. Okay. Charts, chat, deleting messages, chat notification. The notes, I think. Not sure if it's a Notion. Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely. So let me move a couple things. I've got a couple things. So I have this one. I've got another one that I had. Hold on one second. Oh, you know what? I have it in private. Okay, I got to move this out of private. That's what it's going on. Okay, so I have that. One second, I'll do it. And then we have emerging tech. Hold on one second. Where's our emerging tech? APIs. Where's our Glide one? Let me check. I have a couple Glide ones. So the one that we're working on. So we have Glide for beginners. We have another one. Let's see. Starting with Glide part 1. Do we have part 1 and part 2? Where is this? Oh, I actually think this one's pretty good too. Okay, so I'm working on a couple different ones, but let's see, where's this? Glide, AWC, execs. Okay, I'm moving some stuff around so you can get it. Okay. Starting with Glide app. Let's move this over so you can see it. And I'll just share it so you can see it. Okay, they're not done yet, but you can get the notes. Okay. Put all that stuff here. Okay. So the Glide, starting with Glide apps part 1 and 2, it's me just talking through or me just building out things as examples. The ones that I'm working on right now, I'm going to be adding more videos because we've been talking about all this stuff. So just hang tight. You'll see more videos in it, but I'll send you the link. Yeah. Yeah. And then you'll see part 1 and part 2. Yeah. Pre-work, talking about what's happening. Yeah. Now I'll be talking about like adding different things. Yeah, not a problem. Let's see. And if you're not on the newsletter, check out the newsletter too. Or you can sign up. Let me add that. Let me just do it right now because I'll forget. Notes on AppGyver. Where's my stuff? Let me copy and paste it. So if anyone, I'll put it in the chat if anyone wants these. If anyone has not signed up for the newsletter for us, go ahead and do it. And you can join the Discord group too, because I'll answer questions there. You'll know when I'm going live and things like that. Let me put this over here. Copy. Share it in the chat. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Put that there. Where's my links? Where's my links? Links for brand. Okay, cool. Yep. And if you want to join the Discord, if you're on Discord, you can jump on there too. Okay, cool. All right. So let me bring this back up. Okay, cool. Okay, so let me bring this back up. All right, y'all. It was good. So we almost had a 2-hour just, impromptu talking about Glide apps for beginners. Remember, if you have any questions in the comment section down below, let me know what you're working on. If you have more questions, thank you so much for everyone for staying. Squirtles versus Charmander. Mark, Erica, all the different ones. Jay jumping in and harassing people in the chat. Thank you so much. Everyone, thank you so much for spending the evening with us tonight. If you have any questions, we go live every Wednesday at 11 a.m. ish Eastern Standard Time. So I'm there every Wednesday, and there's tons of videos on this channel. So if you have any questions, let me know. Again, thank you so much for being here this evening. Have a wonderful time. Keep building, keep hustling, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Have a great night.